Blackbeard is an octopus. Well, not literally, but today I'm gonna prove to you why he ate the mythical fish fruit model Kraken. You may have heard of this theory before, but copious amounts of new details have emerged since my first video. We wonder what his true trump card is, how he utilizes multiple devil fruits, and why he's not afraid to sail on a pair of logs. Well, today I have a simple yet shocking answer to resolve all of the mysteries surrounding Blackbeard. But before we jump into that, I upload 3 times a week, so please subscribe to keep up with the most evil channel on YouTube. In order to really dive deep and get an understanding as to why Blackbeard is indeed an octopus, we need a quick but much needed recap. Looking at the Jolly Roger for the Blackbeard pirates, it holds interesting clues in the nature of Blackbeard himself. First of all, the Blackbeard pirate flag features 3 skulls. I believe these 3 skulls ties in with the fact that in real life, octopuses have 3 hearts to support their body. Blackbeard gaining Whitebeard's fruit during Marineford leads me to believe he was only able to do so because he has 3 hearts. If Blackbeard ate a devil fruit of a mythical kraken or some variation of an octopus, I am sure that his lineage factor was altered in the process. We see this through Vinsmoke Judge, who experimented with lineage factors in order to artificially manufacture humans through Germa 66. Or even simply through Kaido, where Kaido's body has tough scales even without him being in dragon form. And the reason why Kaido has these scales at all times is because his DNA was altered. In other words, his lineage factor was altered. Now moving back to the flag of the Blackbeard pirates, it also features 8 bone ends to the 3 skulls. This yet again ties in with octopuses, because octopuses in the real world do indeed have 8 tentacles. So therefore, Blackbeard's flag having 3 skulls and 8 bones is a reference to the 3 hearts and 8 tentacles that octopuses have. Blackbeard wouldn't be the first character with some type of aquatic devil fruit either. Kaido himself is confirmed to have a dragon fruit in the fish family. They even refer to Kaido as the strongest creature in land, sea, and air, which is funny to think about considering devil fruit users should be weak in water compared to the sea kings. Yet Kaido is stronger than them while being underwater, most likely due to his devil fruit being in the fish family. Now back to Blackbeard again. Octopuses in the real world have unique and notable abilities, the first one being ink. Octopuses will shoot black ink to disorientate their target and to get away. Blackbeard targeted the Yami no Mi, aka the darkness fruit, most likely because it's the most powerful Logia devil fruit in the story. But I think it acts as a double entendre, because an octopus like Blackbeard wielding the darkness fruit resembles a lot like ink. I can imagine Blackbeard in a full kraken form with all 8 tentacles shooting darkness bombs, and him using all 8 tentacles slamming the Gura no Mi. The second notable ability of octopuses in the real world is their ability to camouflage. We can easily apply this to Blackbeard, as he blended into the Whitebeard pirates for many years while hiding a sinister plan. Sure, Blackbeard is a Yonko now, but the world still doesn't understand the huge yet looming threat that is Blackbeard. Shanks tried warning Whitebeard of Blackbeard, but Whitebeard didn't listen. It also seems like the Gorosei aren't taking Blackbeard that seriously either, so the pirate Shanks is warning the Gorosei about is probably Blackbeard. I think it's safe to assume that Blackbeard is being set up to be one of the endgame bosses to the Pirate King. And in the real world, can you guess what the biggest boss is for pirates throughout the course of history? The Kraken. All throughout multiple religions, countries, and mythologies such as Norse, the Kraken was the absolute most feared enemy of pirates. Shanks himself is based off the Norse god Tyr, and one of the most powerful creatures in Norse mythology is the Kraken. Considering that this is a story of pirates, I am certain that a Kraken will have a much bigger role than Tsurume did. And this Kraken that will play that role in this pirate story will be Blackbeard. And that's about it for the recap, so let's move on to the loads of new evidence that's been uncovered. One of the newest pieces of evidence that's been discovered was actually featured on the cover of a One Piece chapter. A One Piece reader sent in a request to Oda, and that request was an octopus compiling Usopp's adventures onto the Tales of Usopp. So for chapter 1025, Oda responded with a very shocking cover. We have Usopp at the forefront, but just behind him to his right is an octopus. Let's take note how this octopus wears the same exact type of hat that Blackbeard did in his flashback. I swear it's not the bias in me, but it was strikingly similar the first time I saw it. Another thing to note is that this octopus is holding a book so he can write the tales of Usopp. I believe we could tie this in with Blackbeard, because in the SBS for volume 82, Oda told us that Blackbeard's hobby is historical research. What candidate would be better? This octopus is jotting down Usopp's history to compile the tales of Usopp. An octopus that loves history research will surely have it come to fruition. Now, if you're still not convinced, take a look at Usopp's hat in the cover. If you feel like that logo is familiar, it's because it is. Every single one of Blackbeard's ships has that same exact Jolly Roger, minus the long nose because it's Usopp's edition. So now tell me in the comments, how convinced are you? Let's talk about Tsurume, the giant octopus we saw at Fishman Island. At some point, Hody Jones brought Tsurume the Kraken to Fishman Island from the North Pole by force and proclaimed for him to be his slave. Hody even threatened to kill the Kraken if he did not obey. I believe Oda choosing the North Pole specifically was a calculated decision. Octopuses in the real world come from colder regions. So the reason Oda mentioned that Tsurume was brought from the North Pole is to draw that real life connection. Now we can take this connection that Oda has drawn and apply it to Blackbeard. In SBS volume 63, Oda drew the 7 warlords of the sea as children. And for Blackbeard's drawing, he put Blackbeard in the snow. This is hinting that Blackbeard is from a colder region of the world, further drawing a parallel between him and octopuses. Even before Luffy and Co made it to Drum Kingdom, they learned that Blackbeard and Co ransacked and destroyed the place. But we must consider, why was Blackbeard even in Drum Kingdom? When Blackbeard left the Whitebeard pirates, he was in the New World. So is Drum Kingdom, this snow country, the home of Blackbeard, or is there some sort of special connection going on? And speaking of snow, Luffy and Buggy both pointed out that people from snow countries never sleep. More specifically, Buggy mentions that Blackbeard never sleeps. Once again, we can draw a connection to the real world. Octopuses sleep in bursts, and they can go long periods of time without sleeping. It's even said that octopuses spend less than 1% of their life in active sleep. So therefore, with the topics of Blackbeard's origin and the sleeping patterns, we can understand that Blackbeard is paralleling Tsurume and octopuses in real life. During Marineford War, Marco has a statement saying that Blackbeard has a weird body. This leads us to wonder, how and why is Marco even pointing this out to us? Does Marco know something about Blackbeard's lineage factor? Does Marco know about Blackbeard's 3 hearts, or sleeping, or possibly even tentacles? What makes this funny is that we can actually see that there's a dude wearing an octopus on his head, asking if it's possible to even have 2 devil fruits. The icing on this cake is that even Panda Man is making an appearance while this is happening. Moving on to the moment Blackbeard is obtaining Whitebeard's devil fruit, Shiryu is shown asking if it fails, are they splitting up? My answer to this is just because Blackbeard tells his crew he may be able to have multiple devil fruits because of his hearts, that doesn't mean they have 100% faith. Because as the Gorosei stated, Blackbeard is the very first person to have multiple devil fruits. Just like I am, Blackbeard probably theorized that having multiple hearts will allow you to have multiple devil fruits. Because after all, Blackbeard did grow up reading the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. He memorized all of the fruits in it in order to locate the Yami Yami no Mi, a great addition to the Kraken. And this is why Blackbeard seemed so confident when he was going for Whitebeard's Devil Fruit. On the topic of Blackbeard's body, we need to address the weaponry on his body. So Blackbeard always carries 3 pistols with him, which is very interesting because just like Zoro, he only has 2 arms. Unless Blackbeard can 3-gun style them, he would need more arms to actually use all of them. So this leads me to consider, is Blackbeard using a tentacle to shoot his 3rd gun in dire situations? Blackbeard would prefer to keep this octopus devil fruit a secret, but if he reveals it in dire situations, it's not the worst thing in the world. For an example, Shanks told us that Blackbeard was the one to give the scar and that Blackbeard is no joke. Did Blackbeard reveal the octopus secret to Shanks? Did Blackbeard pull a sneaky little attack on Shanks in order to leave that scar? And octopuses as a whole, they totally fit Blackbeard's personality. Octopuses are highly intelligent and adaptable. They are ambush-styled hunters and opportunists, which fits perfectly with Blackbeard's personality. Throughout the story, even during the Thatch incident, Blackbeard has been played up to be an opportunist and planner. He killed his crewmate for a powerful fruit. He gave up Ace to become a warlord. He abused his warlord position to enter the gates of justice. He appeared last second at Marineford to kill Whitebeard. He dipped out of Marineford in order to avoid a fight with Akainu. He sent Burgess to Dressrosa to get the Maramara no Mi. He even trained Burgess to be a sly man like himself in order to infiltrate Baltogo. The list goes on. Blackbeard is very methodical in his decisions, so it would make sense he would hide this Kraken Devil Fruit even from the Whitebeard pirates. Now moving back to Blackbeard's body and his powers, let's talk about Jaya again. Back in the day, the Blackbeard pirates were chasing Luffy towards the knockup streams. Now I believe it was stated that the knockup streams caused whirlpools, but I find it ironic how in Kraken mythology, they say that Krakens can create whirlpools. I doubt Blackbeard created some or any of those whirlpools, but I feel like it's a small yet subtle reference to Krakens again. If Blackbeard is indeed an octopus, people are definitely gonna draw this connection and call it super foreshadowing. On the subject of Blackbeard chasing Luffy, Blackbeard and co actually had their ship crash, which by the way, his ship is literally a pair of logs. Blackbeard might be cocky, but this does not discredit all the buildup Oda has done for the seas in One Piece. They are ridden with weather phenomenons, as well as huge creatures that could easily spell trouble for a few wooden sticks. His ship doesn't even have enclosures. Like, why is Blackbeard not afraid of the ocean? How did he truly survive with his crew when that ship crashed? Is it because he has a Kraken form? Did he use his tentacles to pull his crewmates out of the water? Now I do have a few more points as far as Blackbeard as an octopus goes, but they're definitely on the subtle and tinfoil side. These are definitely not the strongest arguments, but they're fun to think about, so let's think. Let's start with the Pirates of the Caribbean. Davy Jones is an octopus man that was inflicted by a curse. Is Blackbeard an octopus man inflicted by a devil fruit curse as well? And does that make Luffy Captain Jack Sparrow? The sea monster from chapter 1 is known as the Lord of the Coast, and the Lord of the Coast is actually inspired by Float Sam and Jet Sam, the eels from Disney's Little Mermaid. Yeah, this is cute, but the final villain of Disney's Little Mermaid is Ursula, an octopus slash kraken. Luffy's last meal before reaching Jaya is actually octopus, aka Tokoyaki, and then Luffy just so happens to meet Blackbeard shortly after. When Blackbeard is attempting to join the Whitebeard pirates, Blackbeard drops to his knees begging them, but one of the members declines, telling Blackbeard that they ain't no fishermen. When Luffy enters the New World, he actually befriended a Kraken, and now when Luffy is exiting the New World, he will be defeating a Kraken.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together.
I have 2 videos on screen ready for you to watch, and I dare you to click one before this video ends. Bye!